What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel for another video. I'm super excited about this one because we're going to talk about supplements. I feel like there's this kind of misunderstanding with supplements sometimes, what they do, what they're for, how to use them. So hopefully this video answers some of your questions. I am sponsored by Core Nutritionals. I've actually been sponsored by them for wow, going on I think 3 or 4 years now. I started using them back in 2018, became an affiliate just because I loved their products, and then eventually graduated to elite sponsorship status. So it's just an awesome relationship, awesome people. Actually, Doug Miller is the CEO, the founder of the company. He designed these products for natural athletes as being one of the world's, if not the world's best natural bodybuilder. So we're gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into too much science because honestly, I feel like I would just start rambling, and there's just so much that goes into things. There are product descriptions and some of the science behind each and every product on the website. So if you're ever curious, just go and take a look. They go in it into a decent amount of detail. They also have a lot of videos, I think, in the description of a lot of their products too, that kind of talk about how they're used, why they're used, etc, etc. I'm going to talk about my staple products. These are my favorite products, the ones that I'm sometimes constantly running out of. These are the ones that I'm constantly ordering and trying to keep stocked in my cabinet because I just use them most frequently. I just want to preface this video by saying no one needs supplements. No one needs them, but they are beneficial when they're supplemented into a already pretty solid routine as far as diet and training is concerned. If you're already a pretty well-oiled machine, so to speak, supplements can definitely benefit you. But you know, if your goal is fat loss, taking a fat burner or certain supplements aren't going to just burn the fat while you sit there. If your goal is muscle building, then you know, whatever supplements you take are not going to just start putting on the muscle while you just sit on the couch and watch TV, right? You have to make sure that your routine is on point before you can even start to see results with your supplements. We're also going to talk a little bit about some vitamins that I take, just because, you know, aside from the fat loss goals, the muscle building, there are definitely benefits to taking vitamins, supplementing with multivitamins, omega-3s, and things like that, just for general health, keeping your heart healthy, your brain healthy, your joints healthy, promoting recovery, healthy immune system, all that good stuff. So I've been rambling for a little bit. Let's get into my first, I guess, stack. All right, so I think this is probably one of the products I get asked about most frequently. It's because it's called a hardening agent. This is Core Hard. So really essentially what it does is it has some awesome ingredients in there, KSM 66 or ashwagandha, DIM, and you know, those products, essentially what this supplement is for is to help manage cortisol and help just have those healthy cortisol levels. Cortisol is healthy. It's an important hormone that your body produces, but sometimes, especially in a contest prep, you know, if you're taking it to that extreme level of fat loss and you're trying to get to those low levels of body fat to get on stage, managing cortisol is incredibly important for a lot of reasons. Obviously, normal body function, sleep, digestion, recovery, all of those things start to suffer if cortisol goes unmanaged. So that is why I take this one. Now, it's not just for competitors. You know, I'm sure some of you, if you are somewhat in tune with your body, you've noticed some biofeedback markers, you know, that are related to stress. Appetite suppression, lack of sleep, digestion issues, bloating, even maybe constipation, you know, due to water retention, which cortisol, high stress levels can cause water retention. That can sometimes be why you're having trouble going to the bathroom. Being bloated, seeing weight fluctuations. Unmanaged stress can also result in unwanted weight gain. Also sleep. Sleep can suffer when stress is high, cortisol is high. So all of those things, right, are obviously important for you to pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to them, you might want to start paying attention because your body is maybe letting you know that it's a little stressed out. This one, I just notice for me specifically, through experience taking it for so many years, I've noticed improvement in my sleep, improvement in recovery, and just improvement in my overall mood. I'm not quite as irritable, you know, when I take it consistently, especially in a contest prep when you get hangry and you become insatiable some days. It's just one of my favorites. The reason Core Hard is called a hardening agent is because through the management of cortisol and lowering cortisol, getting better sleep, you're not retaining as much water, thus hardening you, or creating the appearance that you look harder, which might not be noticeable when you are maybe higher levels of body fat, 18, 20, 22% body fat. When you're closer to contest shape, you probably will see more noticeable results, but don't take the supplement just thinking that you're gonna all of a sudden wake up the next morning and you're like, oh my gosh, my muscles are popping, I have all these lines, look at my abs. It doesn't work like that. Another one actually that I stack with Core Hard is Bolic. Bolic helps improve protein synthesis and of course thus resulting in increasing lean body mass or building muscle. Bolic I take both in prep and in off season. I recommend that my clients do it as well. It's just really good for improving protein synthesis, which is necessary for your body to recover from training. You know, you're tearing down those muscle fibers. Protein synthesis is a process your body uses to create protein molecules, which is necessary and essential for hypertrophy or building muscle. This one just really helps you take advantage of your body's natural processes, and I don't prep without it. One thing I do want to mention too is, you know, one of the things that you really try to do in contest prep is maintain lean muscle mass as you're losing body fat. So it's a great supplement to use for that. And then obviously in an off season, you're focusing on building muscle, improving your body composition. Obviously it's beneficial for that as well. This next one is Core Load. So these three supplements together, they're called the Big Mama Stack. You can actually just get them on the website. Either type in Big Mama Stack through the search bar or look at the supplement catalog. But Core Load is a glucose utilization agent or glucose disposal agent. Now, what this product does not do is it doesn't just make it so you didn't have carbohydrates, right? If you take it like directed with the instructions with a high carb meal, you still had those carbs are still in your body, you're still metabolizing those carbohydrates. And there's two options your body has to do with those carbs. It can either store them as glycogen in the muscles, kind of like an energy reserve, which is preferable, or you can store them as fat, which isn't necessarily bad, but obviously, you know, especially if you're in a fat loss phase or a contest prep, we want to do the first option, option A. What this supplement does is it helps your body more efficiently metabolize carbohydrates so that you can store more carbs as glycogen or energy reserves in the muscle versus body fat. So like I said, the Big Mama Stack, you can get it either all three of them together. You can try one at a time, whatever you want to do, but you can of course use my code DERAJA to get 20% off any of the supplements that you want to try. I also would recommend following the Core Nutritionals Instagram because they do post weekly deals where you can get a lot of these supplements at a discount for the week. So don't sleep on that. Now, one product that you can definitely kind of toss into that stack for sure is the Poise, which my coach Paul Ravella actually got with Doug. They hopped on the phone. They probably met face to face at some point and just discussed this product. Paul just felt like there weren't enough products out there, or, you know, at least in the Core Nutritionals line of supplements that supported female hormonal health. So he devised this baby. Essentially, Poise helps just support a healthy thyroid and healthy female hormones. The ingredients in here are absolutely great for that, for improving those, you know, naturally. I also just kind of want to go into a little bit. The supplements here are all non-hormonal, so none of these supplements are going to necessarily directly manipulate your hormones, but if you do have any concerns about any of these supplements, any of the ingredients, I would check with your doctor and make sure that they're okay for you to use. I think I definitely use this a lot more in contest prep just because obviously, again, when you're targeting lower levels of body fat, probably lower than your body is comfortable with, what ends up happening is your hormone production does become a bit suppressed due to metabolic adaptation. Your metabolism, you know, the goal of your body is to be as efficient as possible as far as conserving energy, and every process in your body, including producing hormones, does require energy. So taking supplements that help support healthy hormonal balance is obviously going to be a benefit. All right, now we're moving on to more of the general health supplements. So I definitely take my omega-3s. These are great for healthy brain function, healthy heart. They help maintain a healthy blood pressure, and obviously then preventing developing heart disease or any sort of, you know, heart conditions related to high blood pressure and things like that. I mean, I take 2 in the morning, 2 with either my 4th or 5th meal of the day. They help with recovery, healthy joints. There's really no reason not to take them. I actually don't track my omega-3 supplements in my fat intake. I know some people do. I don't think it's necessary because it's something that I take every single day, so it's like not really, I don't think it's necessary. Some people might say different. I don't think we need to. Vitamin C, D3, and zinc. I talked about this in my last video. These 3 supplements I definitely used and incorporated, doubled up on when I had coronavirus. So these I doubled up on when I was sick with COVID. I don't even know if I should, can I say that in this video? Am I gonna get, I feel like I hear the term demonetization all the time, but I don't really think that my channel falls into that category. Anyways, I was sick, and I did use these religiously. Obviously I still use them, but I don't use them in the same amount. I just use a normal dosage, 1 serving every day, to help support a healthy immune system. My core greens I use at least once a day. In prep I usually double up just because they help kind of curb the cravings, the appetite, because they are yummy. I have 2 favorite flavors, the Arnold Palmer and the chocolate. I'm actually out of the chocolate, and I'm actually almost out of this one, but the Arnold Palmer I think is just super refreshing. I usually drink it with ice. You can blend it in a smoothie, you can just shake it up and drink it in your shaker cup, whatever you want to do, but they are super yummy. I love the greens because they're an awesome serving of, you know, those necessary micronutrients that I don't think talk about enough. But yes, the macros are important, but guys, you have to make sure that you get your macros in, and this has a healthy dose of greens and reds. All right guys, pre-workout. So I have 2 here because they're different. You notice one says pump, the other one says fury. Fury does have stimulants in it, so if you are wanting to veer more on the non-stim side, you'll go with pump, which is a non-stim pre-workout. It has all the great pump agents that you need for a great pump. Honestly, you just get an amazing pump when you take it, hence the name pump. Very clever, Doug. Fury I do love taking, you know, when I'm not quite as concerned about my caffeine intake. I usually, if I don't have coffee, I'll be fine with taking Fury. If I do want to have my morning coffee, I'll usually take pump just so I'm not flooding my body with caffeine. My favorite flavor is probably the watermelon lemonade. I have tried the sangria. I do like the sangria, but this one is freaking delicious. The Black Lightning, before I tried this one, was my favorite. Both just delicious flavors. With Fury, I do feel like I get this really nice euphoric sense, this really nice focused energy. It just feels really, really good. I just feel like I can just go in and conquer the world. Just for the best workouts, I just love Fury, but obviously pump for the non-stim, great. Also awesome for PM workouts. If you have to work out, or if you train later in the day, like after you get off work, 5, 6 o'clock PM, you probably don't want to consume caffeine. I wouldn't recommend it. Obviously, consuming caffeine that close to bedtime can impact sleep negatively, so I would recommend doing a non-stim, but both a great option. Now, if you're wondering why this one looks different, it's because I ran out of the new bottle with the new labels. I don't even know how I still had this just back in the back corner somewhere. But creatine, ladies, don't be afraid of creatine, please. It's not scary. It's not a steroid either. It's not like an anabolic thing. It's probably one of the most researched supplements out there, so it is definitely, I think in my opinion, safe to use. I stopped using it for a while because I was using it every single day with all of my training sessions back when I was training upper body more frequently and a little bit more intensely, and I did notice it worked a little too well. It worked a little too well, and I just got a little too developed up top for my division. I do compete as a bikini pro in the IFBB Pro League, if you are unfamiliar, if you're just now finding me. So my shoulders got too big, my back got too big, so I was like, okay, I'm afraid to use this now because I don't want to outgrow my division. Then I started using it just on my training days for glutes. So I only use it 3 days a week, and that is when I train glutes. I do train glutes 3 days a week. I've been doing that for quite some time now, thanks to my man Brett Contreras. I appreciate you. He's been helping me a lot with my glute training, and yeah, so I've noticed taking these on my glute days, just on my glute days, I'll just take 1 scoop, usually 3 grams, which is actually less than a whole scoop of this. So if you want to start by weighing it out and you don't want to take a whole scoop of creatine, then I would just use your food scale and weigh it so you're not, you know, overdoing it. There are a lot of different ways to use creatine. There's creatine cycling, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that because I don't like talking about things that I don't know extensive knowledge about. Google it. But yeah, I just take 1 scoop, 3 grams in my pre-workout before my glute training, and that's it. And I mean, I definitely feel like I see just a huge difference, and also the fullness of my muscles. I know there's sometimes a lot of concern with water retention and just bloating and having some adverse side effects, but I have never noticed that with this. If I do retain any sort of water, it's usually my muscles looking very full, and it's pulled that water into the muscles. I think one of the benefits to creatine, and one of the reasons it works so well for hypertrophy in training, obviously with that being the goal, is by pulling the water into the muscles, it also pulls in those nutrients and helps recover better. Yeah, science. If you want to know more information, either look on the Core Nutritionals website or just take a look at Google, look at some research on that. Now this is actually brand new. It just came out, I think, a month or a couple months ago. Core Nutritionals Gut. It's from the Lifeline line. Definitely in love with this. It's a great probiotic supplement. I'm super excited they came out with this because I've been actually using Nature's Bounty, which, I mean, I don't know, whatever. It was working fine, but when they came out with this, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try that. A healthy gut, I mean, there's so many reasons you want to take care of your gut health. It's also, I think, a pretty trending topic right now, because I guess people are becoming a little bit more aware of issues with bloating, digestion issues, inconsistencies or irregularities with their digestion. There's God knows how many reasons that could be a problem, but supplementing a nice probiotic helps manage and take care of and support the healthy bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut, healthy digestion, it means that you're properly absorbing micronutrients that you take in, and your macronutrients. If you're bloating, it means that you're not properly absorbing the food that you're ingesting. You're not properly absorbing those micronutrients. You might notice if you suffer from a lot of bloating too, your energy is not very good, you have brain fog, you might not sleep very well, your appetite might be hit or miss. Obviously too, it's just uncomfortable. Your clothes probably aren't fitting as well as you're used to them fitting. A lot of the times you might want to just look over the foods that you're eating. If there's a lot of inconsistencies in your diet, then that's probably the #1 culprit. Making sure you're drinking enough water is also a great tip. A lot of the times, you know, if you're not drinking enough water, you are dehydrating yourself, especially if you don't drink a lot of water, you drink a lot of caffeine, you drink a lot of alcohol. Holding on to all that water, obviously your body has no choice but to retain water because it's a little bit worried it's not going to get anytime soon. And obviously that can lead to, you notice breakouts, again, irregularities with your digestion, having trouble going to the bathroom. None of that sounds fun. So I definitely recommend supplementing with a probiotic. All right, you guys, there are so many products at Core Nutritionals. If you've never visited their website, take a look. There's just so many awesome products to use. These that I went over in the video, these are just my favorites, the one that I use all the time. Obviously, you are welcome to try each and every one of them if you wanted to. I'm gonna leave the link in the description so that you can take a look for yourself, as always. And of course, you can use my code DERAJA to save you 20% always. Before I go, I did want to quickly mention, if you do love the top that I'm wearing in this video as much as I do, you can actually get it at TLF Apparel, which I'll also leave a link in the description. Anytime you see me wearing activewear, I will always link it in the description just for future reference. And I do have a discount code for them actually, so if you ever wanted to try them out, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Just I've tried a lot of activewear brands, and I have to say this has been my go-to for the last few months or so. I just think the quality is amazing, the fit is amazing, they're comfortable, and cute. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you found this information useful. As always, you know, I want to do my best to provide information, but also educate, and hopefully shed some insight on some topics that aren't as well understood.